So like I mentioned, when we're talking critical design review, we're trying to basically get feedback from individuals within our organization, potentially outside of our organization, in order to refine our designs. So we might have issues when sharing out a design. So usually we start off with our 3D CAD. We're required to export this file out if someone wants to use it. And then we're faced with, well, what kind of file type do I actually need? We have to upload that file, whether we're using cloud services, local storage areas and so forth, and then eventually share that out to the individual that we want to have view this information. So with that, we have to determine, well, can the end user actually view the file? Like numerous scenarios I've encountered where they don't have access to the software, they're not familiar with it, and you're spending a lot of time trying to troubleshoot issues that shouldn't really be there if you're just trying to get feedback on a design. And then there's things like IP. So if we send out a 3D format, do we want them to have a physical copy of this file? So even things like a step file where it's pretty much stripped back from any model information, it still allows us to reverse engineer. We still can do measurements. We can still review a design and make judgment on it. So do we want to be sharing that out with people within our organization and outside of our organization? And then do the end users actually understand what they're looking at? So there might be non-native CAD users. They look at something, they don't know how to manage the software or drive the software, and they don't get a full understanding of the context of it and how it fits into or how it should be used. So this is where something like AR Design Share can actually come into play. So we start off with our 3D CAD geometry, and we effectively publish this out to a cloud service. From that, we can share this to individuals to view on both their phones, tablets, or eyewear at one-to-one scale. So the important thing here is that AR Design Share is across the Creo suite. So effectively, we can use it within Creo Parametric itself. We can use it within Creo View in the light version, MCAD, ECAD, but not Creo View Express. So that's the free version that's available, as well as Creo Elements Direct. The other thing to note is it's also compatible with Windchill, so we can publish out straight from Windchill to share out these AR experiences. Okay, so accessing AR Design Share from within Creo Parametric itself is simply within the ribbon. So we have to firstly define what's known as a model target, and we'll explain a bit more about that, and then we simply publish and we can go through and manage it. So from here, it's very easy to quickly create and publish, distribute it, and then manage these experiences to make sure that the individuals accessing them are those that you wish to access them. Or you can make it public and then anyone with the QR code, URL link, etc. has access to it. So it allows for very easy and effective collaboration. So next thing is the two types of targets. So within Creo Parametric or AR Design Share, we actually have spatial and thing marks, each with their own pros and cons. So the idea is that a spatial target is used on a horizontal surface. It's used with a compatible device. So it's not really an issue in today's climate where technology is quite advanced, but we do see that in some scenarios. Thing marks are more used in applications where you might want to have it vertical on a wall. Because you have a physical marker, you can actually place that on a vertical surface and project your AR in that form. It's available to a wider variety of devices, and it also allows you to position your AR specifically in certain areas. Okay. AR Design Share itself allows you to create up to 10 experiences. So this is in the out-of-the-box solution. There is also an enterprise edition, which gives you up to 50 experiences. There's two access modes, both public and restricted. So you can lock down who is viewing and who has access to this information, as well as distribution of QR codes, allowing you to view the experience within Vuforia View on any device, whether it's mobile, tablet, eyewear. And then lastly, the ability to use HoloLens, so wearable devices, to view the experiences. So managing the models, we simply can go ahead and manage them depending on, if we want to set certain preferences, we can go ahead, delete out information. So we can go through and essentially keep track of what experiences are logged within our system and then go from there. Okay. So same thing within Windchill, simply using the actions dropdown. And then from there, we have this publish AR experience. We simply click on publish to publish it out to the cloud services. And then from there, we can manage it using the quick links dropdown, my AR experiences. So we can keep track of all of that right within Windchill. And lastly, Creo View itself. So simple enough, same thing as Creo Parametric. Essentially the tools up in the ribbon, we're clicking on augmented reality, we define our spatial target and off we go, publish it out and we're ready to view and collaborate. Okay, so it's very quick and easy to go through this process. And what I'll do now is I'll just jump over into Creo and I'll show you a little demonstration of this. Okay, so here we have the same model that we've been using across the webinar series. So this is a front suspension system from the Polaris snowmobile that you may or may not have seen in some Creo promotional videos and the stuff that we've shown over here at Leap. So what we want to do is click on Tools, define our target. So I'm going to use a spatial target, and then it's a matter of clicking Publish. So we have this pop-up, basically a disclaimer showing that once we publish our information, it's going to be housed on a PTC hosted cloud system. So this may or may not align with your security protocols within your organization. So just something to keep aware of. You also will need PTC credentials in order to publish this. So if you don't have one, you can simply click on the button shown here, and they'll take you to the landing page. You can fill out the form, and then you can start publishing out some experiences. So from there, it's going to get me to authenticate. Once I've authenticated, I can input some attribute information, whether it's the quality, where I'm publishing to, things like my name. I'm going to select on my target and publish it out. So we'll give this a second to load. And basically what it's doing is publishing out this information to that PTC hosted cloud service. And then after which, once it's finished, we'll jump into the managed model and we'll have a look at the finished experience. Okay, so that has successfully published. So I'll jump over into Manage Model at the top, and we'll actually have a look at all the experiences that are published within my user account. So here we have front suspension. We can see that things like spatial tracking or thing marks, and whether or not that's public or restricted. So what I'm going to do is actually share out this project. I'll just minimize this. And for those of you that do have Vuforia View, you can simply scan this QR code. So what I'm going to do is bring up my phone. Just 1 second while it loads. Okay, so now this is essentially my phone. What I'm going to do is I'm going to hover over to my QR code, scan it. And then now it's going to ask me to position it on a flat surface. So I'm just looking at my desk, my mouse pad, and my design has been placed. So what you notice is that it's actually 1:1 scale, so it's quite large. We can actually use the available gestures within AR Design Share and Creo View, Vuforia View, should I say, to basically resize and position my AR experience. So I'll just shrink that down so it's viewable. We can now go around, from any angle. I can basically look into, I can highlight certain components and then hide them. I want to get some more information to surrounding components. And then I also can reset the experience back to its original state, where it's 1:1 scale. So you have all that functionality right there within the AR. Okay. So that's pretty much the whole workflow of taking something from Creo Parametric all the way through to Vuforia View using AR Design Share.